Good morning to all of you. We continue with the array sections. Today we will be studying about the multidimensional arrays. As I had stated earlier, the arrays are of two types. One is a single dimensional array and another one is a multidimensional array. So single dimensional arrays program and sorting and everything. In single dimensional array, what we have done, we have written a simple programs finding out the sum, greatest, smallest. Then we moved on with the tabular format printing, then the merging of the arrays, then sorting and searching of the arrays. So these things we did it, and some logical questions with an array. We performed all those things. Now it's time to move on to the double dimensional array. So double dimensional array is an example of a multi-dimensional array. So what is a multi-dimensional array? Multi-dimensional array is nothing else but it's an array of arrays. It's an array of arrays. What I mean with it, you have declared a single dimensional array. You need an extra dimension here. You need an extra dimensions to represent a double dimensional array. For example, int a array equals to new int n. This is an example of a single dimensional array. But whereas you have, when you declare a double dimensional array, so int a, then array symbol, then again an array symbol equals to new int m n. What is an m and n? M stands for the number of rows and n stands for the number of columns. Actually, why rows and columns? By the rows and columns we straight away come to know. If you can pretend it, and then we can pretend that this is a tabular form. This is a tabular format. In a tabular format, the arrays are, the two-dimensional arrays are in a tabular format, and m stands for the number of rows and n stands for the number of columns there. So what will be the total number of elements? So obviously total number of elements equals to m into n. Now to represent the rows, we will be using it as I for the rows and j for the columns. So what is the change with the single and the multi-dimensional? For example, when we need to insert an array, you used to, in single dimensional we need to run one loop, single loop, and we have inserted the elements. But in case of a multi-dimensional, that is a 2D arrays, then you require two loops, the nested loops, I and j. J is the nested loop. So you have to write two loops, and then you have to insert an element. For I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Curly braces start. For j equals to 0, j less than I m, and here j less than n, j plus plus a of I j. I is 0, j is 0. Then I is 0, I remains constant, j equals to 1. So 0 1. Then I 0, j 2. Then again if I increases, I becomes 1. Then j 0, 1 1, 1 2. Likewise the indexing. When we see the mapping of it, then only we come to understand what I mean here right now. So nested loops are used for insertion. Then obviously nested loops will be used for the calculation also. So let's move on with the multi-dimensions with some notes, and then we will proceed with the programs also. Thank you. Now multi-dimensional arrays. What is a multi-dimensional array? Actually, multi-dimensional arrays are array of array. It's a arrays of array. To declare a multi-dimensional array, variables, multi-dimensional array, we need to specify additional index. Using another square bracket. Using another square bracket. Now, two-dimensional array is the simple type of multi-dimensional array. It's a simple type of multi-dimensional array. A 2D array is like tables of rows and columns. It's like a table of rows and columns. That is array stored in a row column matrix. In a row column matrix. For example, an array mn. Now what it means that m number of rows and n number of columns. N number of rows and n number of columns. Now, elements. How you determine the elements? So elements are determined by multiplying row and column. Is it? That is m into n. That will be the total number of elements. So let's consider 3 into 3. 3 into 3. That means 3 rows and 3 columns. Array. 2D array. Now we are going to perform a mapping of it. So three rows. Row 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2. Is it? Now we construct a column. First column, second column. Oh, sorry. And this is the third column. So what will be the index of this? 0th row, 0th column. 0th row, first column. 0th row, second column. Is it? And then 1 0, first row, 0th column. First row, first column. First row, second column. Then second row 0th column, then second row second column, then second row first column, and second row second column. This is what the mapping of 2D array. Now this is how it's represented. This is how it is represented. Now for example, if I need to if 0 1, then which element will be extracted? Now in this cell. It's just like a cell naming of similar cell naming of you can relate it with a similar cell naming of an Excel. So we can create a different types of so let's go with the syntax first. Now what is the syntax? So you have a data type, array name, you must mention the number of rows and column equals to new data type, and here the size m and n. M stands for rows and n stands for columns. M into n, the number of elements. So we can have, as I was saying, we can have a different number of different types of array. You can construct an integer array. Example, int a array equals to new int 3:4. Now what it means? You have created an integer array which contains 3 rows and 4 columns. 3 rows and 4 columns. Likewise, you can create a float a array equals to new float 3 4. So it is going to consider have a values of a float type having a 3 rows and 4 columns. Just like this, you have to construct a tabular format and remember it, what you want and which one has to be extracted and what has to be extracted. And this is this. Likewise, you can create a character array, you can create a string array, you can create a double array. Is it? The different data types arrays can be created with like this, with the same syntax. So let's move on with a small program. We are going to start with it. Let's say input an array of size m and n, 2D array of size m and n, and find the sum of their elements. Let's proceed with the simple one. Web to input an 2-dimensional integer array of size m and n, of size m and n, and store the sum of elements, and store the sum of the elements. So here we go. Import java.util.asterisk, class abc, void main, scanner, sc equals to new scanner, system dot in. Now What are the requirements here? First of all, you require two loops I and j, as I said in the previously, that I and j is to be required. Then you require m for the rows and for the columns, and you have to find a sum. So sum and s equals to 0. So get a rows, enter the number of rows, m equals to sc dot next int method, enter the number of columns, n equals to sc dot next int method. You got the row and column. Now you need to create an array. So let's move on. The first step, size declaration. Then the second step, array creation. So int a array equals to new int m n. You have specified the size here. Likewise, here you have to specify the size. So data type is now int, array name is a, array declarations, these are the dimensions, rows and column, new int mn. Is it? Look here. Now this is the data type, array name, new int mn. No. So first part is over, size declaration, then array declaration, then element entry. For element entry, for I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. For j equals to 0, j less than n, j plus plus. Now sublime. Enter the elements. I hope so. You people know how to run the nested loop. Is it? A of I equals to sc dot next int method. Inner loop ends first. जब तक j नहीं खत्म होगा i मत बढ़ाना. i को 0 में कांस्टेंट रख लो आप लोग, तो फिर j से जितना है n तक वहाँ तक चला डालिए आप उसको. फिर उसके बाद i इंक्रीमेंट होगी, i की वैल्यू 1 हो जाएगी, फिर j 0 से स्टार्ट होगा. तो I don't think so. This has been already taught to you in class 9. I don't need to repeat it again, how it's work. So here the element entry work is over. Now what is the fourth stage? The fourth stage is to apply the logic. That means we need to pick each element. अब पहले 0 1 को पिक करेंगे, फिर 0 0 को, फिर 0 1 को, फिर 0 2 को. ठीक है, इस तरीके से पिक करके उसको ऐड करते जाएंगे. तो उसके लिए लूप चाहिए. फॉर i इक्वल्स टू 0, i लेस देन m, i प्लस प्लस, देन फॉर द कॉलम j0, j लेस देन n, j प्लस प्लस, s इक्वल्स टू s प्लस a ऑफ i j. सिंगल डायमेंशनल में एक ही यूज होता था, एक ही लूप चलती थी, j लूप नहीं रहता था, ऐसे ऐड करते थे. अब यहाँ पे दोनों लूप जला के ऐड करना है. Now close. Now the fifth part. What was the fifth part of an array? You have to display. So system.out.println sum of elements is plus s. Is it? Close. Sum of element is plus s. Close. You got the sum here. Are you getting it? No. M and n. Suppose m and n. I enter m 2 3. That means 2 row and 3 columns. 2 rows, 3 columns. 1 2 3. 0 1 0 1 2. तो I0 J0, I0 I less than 2. Now J equals to 0, and 0 less than 3. Condition becomes true. So a of 0 0 में एलिमेंट रखा, मान लो यहाँ 2 रख लिया, तब फिर उसके बाद j की वैल्यू हो जाएगी 1. 1 इज लेस देन 3, तो a ऑफ 0 1 में एलिमेंट दिया 3, तो यहाँ 3 स्टोर हो गया. फिर j की वैल्यू हो गई 2. 2 लेस देन 3, तो a ऑफ 0 2 यहाँ पे एलिमेंट स्टोर कर लिया, मान लो 4. ठीक है, बात समझ में आ रही है. फिर उसी तरीके से i की वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगी अब 1, एंड j की वैल्यू 0 से स्टार्ट होगी 1 0 में, तो यहाँ पे मान लो 5 दिया. फिर j की वैल्यू हो गई 1, तो 1 1 में 6 इनपुट किया. फिर j की वैल्यू हो गई यहाँ पे 2, तो यहाँ 7 इनपुट किया. फिर j की वैल्यू 3 हुई, फॉल्स हो गया. फिर i की वैल्यू इंक्रीमेंट हुई, i की वैल्यू हो गई 2, i लूप भी फॉल्स हो गया. अब आउटर लूप फॉल्स हो गया, तो हम नीचे उतर गए, यहाँ पे उतरे. ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्या है, ये एरे है, i की वैल्यू है 0 और 0 लेस देन 2 ट्रू, j की वैल्यू 0, 0 लेस देन 3 ट्रू. तो s इक्वल्स टू 0 प्लस e ऑफ 0 0. e ऑफ 0 0 क्या है 2, तो सम कितना हो गया 2. नाउ j गेट्स इंक्रीमेंटेड बिकॉज j इज द इनर लूप, तो इनर लूप गेट्स इंक्रीमेंटेड, j becomes 1. 1 is less than 3 true. Sum equals to 2 plus a of 0 1. What is a of 0 1? देखो 0 1, तो 0 1 क्या है ना, 0 थ्रो फर्स्ट कॉलम 3, कितना हो गया 5. Then again j increments to 2 less than 3 true. S equals to 5 plus a of 0 2. Now 0 2, what is the element 4, so sum is 9. Then j value again becomes 3. 3 is less than 3, false. Now I gets incremented. This is how you have to calculate it, and this is how you have to proceed. This is how we will be doing with our program. Now get the size, array declared, enter the elements by running 2 loops, then go for the logic by running 2 loops, then print it out. Is it? Thank you.